Rush Duel is a fast-paced spin-off game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where you can summon as many monsters as you want and draw up to 5 cards each turn. In this series, me and the TheDrAlex progress through each Rush Duel product release and build decks with whatever cards were available at that time. We have been drafting characters from the Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's anime and have exclusive access to those characters' boss monsters, and will continue to draft characters from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush series. Join us as we continue to battle it out in this series, Rush Duel Character Draft. Burst Rex of Awakening was released May 11th, 2024, and includes several new archetypes, including the new villain deck, Dark Matter. I will be receiving Stone Machine Gare King, Deity of the Seven Treasures May Die, and Seven's Road Ultima Witch. Alex will receive the new archetype Dark Matter, which includes Dark Matter Enigmata and Dark Matter Enignite Seeger, as well as the new Hyperdrive archetype and some new dragon support with Hyperdrive Screwdriver, Brave Bronze Dragon, and Tribe Mirror Dragon. He will also receive the new Fire Cyberse archetype, Cyberspice, including Wheatcloth Demeter, Cyberspice Nutmeg, and Cyberspice Garam Masala. And their fusion monsters, Cyberspice Queen Cinnamon, and Cyberspice Curry Bread Pandora Drapery. Finally, Alex will receive God Maju Gazette and Blue Eyes Blazing Bright Dragon. So this is the deck we're bringing to today's game. This is Spellcasters, and we're bringing this because we did get some new Spellcaster support. First of which is a new fusion monster, but we did get this last set, but we didn't really bring it because we knew we were getting more support this set. So this is Seven's Road Charm Witch, made using Seven's Road Witch, and one level 1 Earth Attribute Spellcaster monster, so that would be basically all of the cats. We can send the top card of it to the graveyard, change the battle position of one monster in your opponent's field, so we can change monsters to attack mode, which is pretty good. Also, this card can inflict piercing damage, which means we can change monsters to defense if they have really low defense, attack over them, and still get damage in that way. As well as, if Seven's Road Magician is in our graveyard, this turn, this card cannot be destroyed by card effects. So it's pretty okay. It's a level 8 monster. The biggest weakness of this card is that it cannot be made using Seven's Wonder Fusion, which means you do have to run Fusion in the main deck. Our other new boss monster is the Seven's Road Ultima Witch, which is made using Seven's Road Witch and a Magical Knight or Spellcaster type fusion monster. So I believe the line we're supposed to do is go into Witch and then fuse it away into Ultima Witch. We can shuffle one spell card from our opponent's graveyard into the deck, and then we can add one spell card from our graveyard to our hand. And if we do, we can only activate one normal spell for the rest of this turn. So it's pretty powerful being able to recycle spell cards. It's also a level 10 with 3300 attack, which is quite nice. Now, once again, we have to make this using Fusion. But Fusion is not the end of the world because we are playing Strange Cat Witch as our level 1 Earth Spellcaster. And its effect is if we have no other monsters on our field, we can special summon a Seven's Road Charm Witch or a Seven's Road Witch from our graveyard face up to our field, and then we can add Fusion from our graveyard to our hand, which means if we get Charm Witch, we can just go straight into Ultima Witch, and if we only have Seven's Road Witch, we can use that and then go into the Charm Witch. So there's little combos in here. For the rest of the deck, we're just kind of playing the rest of the generic fusion stuff. We got Seven Sphere because it can turn itself into Seven's Road Magician. We've got the Seven's Road Magician itself because it does work with some of our other effects, as well as, you know, we can Seven's Wonder Fusion into some big guys. We have our other new boss monster, which is Release Slayer, which is a little bit awkward. During the turn, we normal summon this card because then took effect to the graveyard. If you send a spellcaster monster to the graveyard's effect, this turn, this face-up card contributes 2 tributes to the tribute summon of a Dark Attribute Spellcaster type monster in attack mode. This only really works with Fear and Seven's Road, but it's still pretty cool. So this is the deck. I don't know if this is the best build. It's probably not, but we just kind of threw this together. I think this is enough to win. Spellcasters generally is quite a strong strategy, and worst case scenario, we always just fall back on Old Reliable. So let's fire into the games and see what Alex has got for us. Last week we had the Stone deck. I think it's generous to call it that. Realistically, it was Magnet Warriors with some of the new rock cards versus the new Dark Matter deck. And you got very unlucky during those first 2 games because on turn 1, both game, you milled 2 of your legends. Different legends both times, but you know, it turns out legends are actually kind of important. And if you don't have them, it's actually quite annoying. So yeah. you did get your revenge though in game 3. That was a really good game. It was very unfortunate. As I kept chucking it into the editing software, it kept crashing. I think a lot of that game was just corrupted. So I had to chop a lot of it out, unfortunately, which is disappointing because I thought that was probably the best game of the 3. But going into this week, we are going to have a bit of a mix-up. So I still don't have that many decks, right? Like, I don't have that many new cards available to me. So what I'm on should be a little bit easier to predict. As for you, you still have basically 2 brand new decks in Hybridrive and Cyberspice. Now, Hybridrive is a bit of a weird one, because I don't think it's going to be like an entire deck. I think it's more of a, you slot this into some other stuff. There is the point, I think you're supposed to use it with Burst Rex, but neither of us have access to Burst Rex because it's a fusion with both of our boss monsters, so it's a bit weird. So I mean, I think you'll still bring Hybridrive at some point. I don't know if you'll bring it this week. So I'm going to predict Cyberspice because I think that was an easier deck to build because it's all kind of contained. It's all its new thing. It's very what's the word I'm looking for? It's very intuitive how to build that deck, right? You just jam all the Cyberspice cards in, you're good to go, sort of thing. So I'm going to predict you're on Cyberspice. What do you think I'm going to be on? Bearing in mind, the only 2 decks I have kind of a lot of new cards for, I guess, is going to be Dice or Spellcasters.
I'll say Dice.
Okay, predicting we're on the Dice. Alright, well, let's just fire it in then, and then we'll see what both on. Wow. Wow. Oh.
Oh, I'll go first.
Alright, let's see what you've got for me. Alright, it's a lot of face down cards. Okay, the whole hand is empty. Let's see what I can do. Ooh. I think I'm going to follow suit, you know. I think I'm going to go for the old quintuple set pass. My hand isn't very aggressive.
Agreed.
Oh, that's really... You have 11 cards to work with this turn.
Attribute 2.
Oh, Cyberspice. So this is Garam Masala. Your opponent, if your opponent is a face-up monster on the field, which we'll say don't, your opponent excavates the top 3 cards of their deck. One face-up monster on your opponent's field loses attack equals total levels of the excavated monsters times 300 until the end of the turn. Your opponent places the cards back on top of the deck in order. So lets me stack the top of my deck, which doesn't really matter in Rush most of the time. It does weaken one of my monsters by potentially quite a lot. If I was to mill, let's say, like 3 7s, that's 2100. Guardian of Cybers. That's not a Cyberspice monster at all. No, we tribute it for Nutmeg.
Nutmeg can...
Alright, you can summon this card in attack position by tributing 1 Cyberse monster. And then effect, each player sends the top card of their deck to the graveyard, then you can place one of the cards sent to either the top or bottom of the owner's deck. Okay. Interesting. So you've milled my 7 Sphere Magician.
Ooh.
And for you it's Masala. So you can put one of these on the top or bottom of one of our deck. Okay, so you put a boss monster at the top of your deck. Cyberse comes out again, which lets you send 1 monster from your field to the graveyard, and then 1 Cyberse monster gains 300 attack and destroy card effects. We're just going to tribute off for a second Nutmeg. Hey look, it's a 7's Road Magician. Could you stop milling my boss monsters? I want those to play the game. Well, you have hit my Peaking Magician. You've hit my Roadstar Swordsman, or Swordsman of Roadstar. And you've hit my new card, Strange Cat Witch. Alright, let's see what we can draw. Let's get going with my legend spell. Graceful Charity. Okay, I think I'm going to do this and this. Then I'm going to normal summon out my Release Slayer. So during the turn you normal summon this card, I can send the top card of my deck to the graveyard. And if I send a spellcaster type monster to the graveyard by this effect, this turn it can be treated as 2 tributes to the tribute summon of the dark attribute spellcaster type monster in attack position. We'll go ahead and use this. Oh, that is like so bad. Alright, we'll drop Magical Stream and we'll pop one of these back row. Then we're going to pop Magical Stream. We'll pop one of these back row. Then, oh, what was that? That was Black Pepper. When a card is sent from your opponent's deck to the graveyard where you have 3 or more face-up fire, Cyberse monsters with different names in your graveyard, choose 5 of your opponent's graveyard, including 2 level 4 low monsters. You put place these cards at the top of their deck. Okay, so that's stacked my deck. Then we're going to summon out 4th Seeker, which unfortunately, because I didn't get to send Release Slayer to the graveyard, doesn't work how I want it to, but I can then tribute 2 and summon out Magician, activate its effect. Mill and gain a power boost. Then we just have to go to battle, unfortunately. There's not really much else we can do. We're going to try and clear Masala, and then just pass.
Okay. Humor.
Okay.
Let's see what this is. That's fusion.
It's indeed fusion.
Ram Masala.
Mm-hmm. That's some nice low-level cards there, at least.
Mm-hmm. Now let's see what you put on top of your deck.
I completely forgot that did that, you know.
Maybe. Just summon another nutmeg.
Okay. Well, luckily Catwitch wouldn't do anything.
Battle.
I can't do anything about this. We've unfortunately drawn very poorly. It is going quite bad. We've also been milling quite poorly as well. There's a lot of cards in my deck I want in my graveyard that have just not found their way there. Alright, let's start with Peaking Magician. So we'll activate the effect and mill. And then I get to rearrange these cards. How do we want to do this? I think I want you and then you. That's a little bit worrying. Well, we will then normal summon out Release Slayer, activate its effect and mill. Then I can summon out my Seven's Road Sorcerer and activate its effect to send 3 monsters to the grave. And then I can bring back 2 monsters. I need to find the specific wording for this. So if I bring back Seven's Road Magician, I can also bring back Seven's Road Witch. So if I bring back Seven's Road Magician, also bring back Seven's Road Witch. And then we'll go ahead and use our fusion and combine our 2 monsters together to create the Master of Seven's Road. We'll then just set, go to battle, and we will attack into Masala. And then we'll pass. There's the Seven's Road Magician you knew about. Okay, right. So I'm going to summon out Seven's Road Sorcerer. Then I'm going to summon out Darkness Force Seeker. I'm going to go ahead and activate Seven's Road Sorcerer's effect. And send all of my monsters to the grave. And bring back Seven's Road Magician. Then I'll bring back Seven's Road Witch as well. Then I'm going to activate Fusion. And make this back again. So this is change 1 face at level 9 lower monster on your opponent's field to face in defense position. Then you can place 1 card from your hand from your opponent's graveyard in either top or bottom. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so now I will activate my Seven's Wonder Fusion, and we will go for another Master of Seven's Road. Then I will Tribute Summon and Summon. Then we're going to go to Battle Phase, and I'm going to attack into this defense monster. Oh, it's not enough. That's a shame. We will pass the turn on that. Cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects. Also, you have an equipped spell in your graveyard against 300 attack. Okay.
Put that back on top. Activate Cookman. Go to battle.
Well, we are going to use our Dark Revelation. we've had for a while, but haven't really had a good chance to use it. I need to make sure I leave a certain number of darks in my graveyard is the primary concern. We have 2 of that, we do have 2 of that. Back in.
Not enough. Damn.
I saw you have a magic cylinder. Now I'm second guessing myself if it actually went to your hand or not. Either way, I should try and play around it if I can. If you don't have magic cylinder, you can just say it, and you can just scoop it up. But if not, I will just sit here and spin plates until I find a way to play around it. So I need a way to either pop your back row or turn them off. I can only turn them off with Warwolf. I cannot access Warwolf with what I have. So I'm going to activate Fusion. And I'm going to combine my monsters together to create my new boss monster, the Sevens Road Ultima Witch. So I can shuffle 1 spell card from my opponent's graveyard into the deck, and then add a spell card from my graveyard to my hand. So we're going to activate this, and we'll give you Spice Cross Mix back. And then I take back Magical Stream. But the problem is I have no idea which of these back row it is. If I'd been paying attention, I think I would be able to know which one it is. But I have since forgotten. So we're just gonna do this and target this one. And I think that's probably game then. Does doing any of this change anything? No. No, it doesn't. It doesn't change anything. Right, we'll set. We'll tribute to summon out 7 Sphere. We'll activate 7 Sphere. We'll reduce this thing's attack. Then we'll just go battle phase and we'll run into what I assume is Magic Cylinder. Oh, okay, what happened to Magic Cylinder?
In my hand.
Oh, did you just not have room to play it?
I haven't had room to play it.
So yeah, you went for the Arthene because if you had got the 300, it was lethal.
Yeah.
And that made more sense than putting down the cylinder. Yeah, I was sat there like, I know you had it in hand, but you set a card that wasn't Magic Cylinder for 1 turn, and I was like, did I miss that you like opened up a slot and set it in a different slot? Like, I was so convinced. Because in my mind, I'm like, there's no way you just don't set Magic Cylinder. But then again, sometimes it's not the correct play. And if you know that I know that you have Magic Cylinder, you know that I would pop the fresh one, so you might be mind gaming me. So it's like this weird... Anyway, let's go on to game 2 and see what happens there.
I will go first.
Okay. The Pot of Greed once again. The Kumin's just gonna mill me. Burn. Frost Trooper Mark II. Why are we just burning me now, Alex? Why have we completely swapped gears? You have a level 3 fight.
That's what the deck does.
You didn't burn me at all last game. Double nutmeg.
See what we got.
Oh man, is that Seven's Road Magician?
Probably.
You should put Seven's Road Magician on top of my deck.
And end.
Okay. Let's start with the Mighty Peking Magician. Now, you already know what the top 2 cards of your deck are.
Well, I know the top deck.
I don't think these matter, so I'm probably going to end up milling both of them. Oh, that's your other boss monster. Right, we'll summon out Release Slayer. We'll activate the effect, and I know that it will work this time. Then, I'm going to tribute Release Slayer to summon out Seven's Road Magician. Then I'm going to summon out Peking Magician, and we're going to activate its effect. We look at the top 2, and then I can reorder these. Then we're going to tribute 2 and summon out Seven's Fear Magician. Then we'll go ahead and activate Seven's Road Magician's effect. And we'll go ahead and activate 7 Sphere Magician effect. We'll get both of those in the grave. And we'll weaken this one. Then we'll go to battle phase. We will attempt to attack over this. And then we will attempt to attack over this.
I think I'm going to lose this if I don't use it. So I'll use it.
Okay. I respect it. And then we'll pass.
Okay. Defrost.
Okay.
The magician was 600.
Mm-hmm. Or have we got the other boss monster coming down is the question.
Tribute to Meat Cloth Dimitive.
Okay. So during turn you have not special summon a monster from your graveyard. Your opponent excavates top 2 cards of the deck. You can special summon 1 monster with a level equal to or lower than the total levels of the excavated monsters from your graveyard face up to your field. Your opponent places the excavated cards on top of their deck in any order. Okay. You should put that back on top of my deck.
Special summon out. Let's go Kumun.
Okay. So I get to rearrange these. Burn for 400.
Tribute for 1. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But go to battle.
Take the 2. Take the 7. And we take the 23. So we're very low on life points, which is very scary. We'll start by normal summoning Strange Cat Witch.
Mm-hmm.
We're then going to activate Magical Stream and put the back row. Then I can activate Witch's effect and bring back Seven's Rogue Witch. Now the question is, do I want an attack mode or defense mode? I don't think attack mode does anything. So I think we are just going to summon it in defense. We will go ahead and tribute set. Then I will tribute 2 and summon out my 7 Sphere. Then I'm going to go ahead and activate 7 Spirit. And we'll go ahead and weaken one of your monsters. Then we'll activate our 7's Wonder Fusion. And I think we're just going to use 2 for free. Into the big boy himself. Then all we can do is go battle phase, unfortunately. So we can clear this. And I guess we clear this. And then just kind of hope. So we're not seeing any back row. Okay. Go for a burn.
Burn and awaken.
Yeah, I mean, that's lethal on board. Right, well, hopefully... hopefully next game I don't brook quite as hard, because I didn't have any fusion in graveyard to use with the cat, which really sucks, and we didn't see any trap cards, so that one was a little bit unlucky for us. Let's see what happens in game 3. Right, we will be going first. That's an interesting hand. I guess we'll start with Release Slayer. We'll go ahead and activate its effect and see what it does. Okay, so it can now be used as 2 tributes if I so please. The question is, do I so please? I will tribute it to summon out 7's Rogue Magician. Then I'm going to set and tribute set. I'll activate 7's Road, because getting cards in the graveyard is usually just a good thing. Well, except when that happens. And then we'll pass.
Okay.
Now, setting your high hand is pretty good.
Wall up.
Alright, let us normal summon Roadstar Swordsman. We're then going to activate Fusion and fuse our 2 monsters together into the 7's Paladin, the Magical Knight. We can activate its effect, and we can shuffle a monster from our graveyard into the deck and draw 1 card. So, I'm going to go ahead and stick Roadstar Swordsman back into my deck. Okay, that's an interesting draw. Then, I will go ahead and normal summon Peaking Magician. We'll activate the effect, mill a card, and then we'll take a look at some cards. Probably do this. Then we will go ahead and tribute to summon out the Mighty 7 Sphere Magician, followed by simply normal summoning out 7's Road Sorcerer. We'll go to battle, and we will just attack some cards. Then we will pass the turn. Oh, we still have 3 defense monsters, so it's still looking a little bit awkward for me. This draws in general is quite good. So we will go ahead and shuffle draw. And the card I'll put back into my deck is going to be... Sure, 7's Red Witch can come back. We'll set another back row. I think it's better off just to go straight to battle, to be honest. I think keeping these guys around is probably for the best. I would like to get some damage in, but we kind of lack the ability to do so right now.
Well, let's see if we can get a draw. Okay, no, mind.
That nut. Please stop sending my magical streams to the graveyard. Okay, so I can't be destroyed by effects now.
Get rid of here.
It can't be destroyed by effects, so no real reason of doing anything here. Let Fear die. We will go ahead and activate my Paladin again, but I am going to keep drawing cards because I feel like if I boost, I'm going to get punished for doing so. So now I'll throw Cat back into a draw. I think I'm going to change Sorcerer to Defense, followed by setting a monster, go to battle phase, and then I'm going to attack into... Oh, nothing. Okay. 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 Oh, there's a Flame Ruler. By Sorcerer. Okay, does that change anything? Right, let's start by once again drawing a card. So I'm going to go ahead and put Force Seeker back in. We'll draw. Okay. Tribute to summon out 7's Road Witch. I'll go ahead and activate 7's Road Witch's effect. I'm going to send this to summon out 7's Road Magician. Then we're going to activate Fusion. And we are going to just go into Master of 7's Road. Or 7's... Yeah, Master of 7's Road, that's the one. Okay, so this is going to flip it, is that right? Face down defense position. Okay, that's fine. We'll set this, we'll just go to battle. And we will give him a little slap, see what happens. Okay, do it with Magic Cylinder. We're trying to bait that out for a while. We'll pass on that.
No burn. No summon the ram.
Okay.
Activate Spice Cross.
So Fusion summon by sending fire, Cyburst monsters from your hand and or field to the graveyard. Then you can place one card from your opponent's graveyard into the top or bottom of their deck. The monster we've made is Pandora Drapery, which is your opponent executes top 4 cards of their deck. If a spell or trap card is among the cards activated, you can destroy all spell trap cards on your opponent's field. This isn't good.
We'll put this Fusion on top, just in case. Okay, we're again. Yes.
That's very disappointing. Guess this.
That summon. Make this lose a further 600.
Mm-hmm.
Go to battle.
Ooh, prioritizes damage. Okay. It's the boy.
Oh, yeah, whoops.
I did the same thing last week.
Yeah, you did.
So, I guess we'll put this guy back to attack. Then we're going to go ahead and activate the Sevens Wonder Fusion that you knew was coming. And then we'll go 1, we'll go 2, and out comes the Master of Sevens Road. And then we have everybody's favourite Pitch Black Wolf.
Ooh.
So, if I just do this, and then if I do this...
Yeah, if you didn't have the pitch black. What's the term there?
Oh, what was the back row?
Purity Hole.
What does that do?
It's an old Cyber Trap card. When an opponent's... Oh no, 8 or lower. Never mind. I still wouldn't have...
Okay.
Cripples an attacking monster into the deck.
So, playing this game, I realised I missed a lot of things in deck building. I really should have had probably the Legend stuff in here, Legend Strike and the Legend Magician, because it just works quite well in here. As well as I need ways to get spell cards back to my hand, so I think I should have included like Jamais Vu and Magical Stone. Other than that, obviously the deck did what I wanted it to do, right? We wanted to stick a load of stuff in the graveyard, we wanted to fusion out a bunch of guys, we wanted them to be really big. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see both of my new fusions because it should be relatively simple, right? The strategy is you get Witch and you get Fusion into graveyard. Then you summon Cat. Cat effect gets back Witch and Fusion. Bam, the new fusion comes out. That did not happen at all. Any of these games. I did not get both of those cards in the graveyard while I had access to Cat and Cat's effect was live. So it was just like, well, we just didn't get to see that. Instead, this just became Master of Sevens Road Turbo. But we did get to see one of my new boss monsters, and that was the Witch. But I can't remember what she was called. I can check. I have the technology. We did get to see my Sevens Road Ultima Witch, which was the really cool one, which lets me shuffle a spell card from your graveyard back to get a spell card back from my graveyard, which is a very powerful effect, right? Being able to get spells back in general is very, very good, especially if we have access to stuff like Sevens Wonder Fusion, which is pretty cool. Now, the big negative here is, right, Sevens Wonder Fusion can only be used to make Sevens Road Magician fusions, so we cannot use it to make Ultima Witch, we cannot use it to make Sevens Road Charm Witch, which is the other boss monster we got. But that's why things get a bit weird, because obviously you want to play Sevens Road Magician with Sevens Road Witch, right? Because they have this like innate synergy, and they have a fusion between them, being the Master of Sevens Road. But if you want to use the new fusions, you have to use the fusion card, because obviously you can't use Sevens Wonder Fusion to make these new fusions, as well as Strange Cat actively searches fusion from the graveyard and lets you reuse it. So like it's this really weird, you want to use Sevens Wonder Fusion because it's so good, but you also don't because you want fusion, and if you have 3 fusion and 2 Sevens Wonder Fusion, you've now got 5 fusion spells, and that's way too many, and it's a bit of a deck building nightmare to try and like cram it all in. Maybe the strategy would have been to just not use Sevens Road Magician at all, but that felt weird and unintuitive. As for your deck seemed a little bit all over the place, to be honest. You were milling me, then you were like stacking my deck, then you were reducing my monster's attack, then in game 2 you turned into a burn deck and you just kept flinging damage at me. And I was like, what is going on? Like, how do I stop all of this from happening? On one hand, milling me does kind of help what my deck wants to do, but at the same time, if all my spell and traps get milled, because again, we didn't build the deck as well as we probably should have, that's really hazardous for me. It's a bit of a shame we didn't get to see more of your fusions, though, to be honest, because we got to see this one, Drapery. I believe you have one more as well. Drapery's effect is really good. Wiping out the whole back row is so strong.
I kept seeing the fusion spell and not the materials along with it until game 3.
Well, it can get a bit weird, right? Because this fusion especially is 2 high-level monsters, which, as we've seen, can be a little bit awkward to get out. I mean, like the obvious ones are going to be things like the Sevens Gears, right? Which, you know, they literally have a fusion spell that you fuse from graveyard. Because I believe your fusion spell doesn't let you fuse from graveyard, right? It was Hand and Field.
Hand and Field, which is okay.
Yeah,
polymerization effect.
Yeah, it's a polymerization that also has a secondary effect that, you know, works with Drapery's effect, and I assume it will work with the other fusion you've got's effect as well.
Yes.
Because the whole
burns.
Cyber Splice thing is like stacking your opponent's deck and milling your opponent's deck, and so you know what they're going to have, and then you can manipulate that to burn them or to, you know, use effects like this, which is if I had a spell in the top 4, you get to wipe out my back row. So there's a lot of interesting moving pieces going on here. But, you know, that was a good one. GG, buddy.
GG.